Raj had the perfect interview until they asked one question. The honest answer would disqualify him instantly. The lie wouldn't hurt anyone, except him. Have you ever been treated for any mental health conditions? 3 years of therapy for anxiety, medical records that could be discovered, a job that would change his entire family's future. This is the story of the lie that felt like survival, and why sometimes the cost of honesty is higher than we can afford to pay. Let me tell you how we got here. Raj had been unemployed for 8 months, not by choice. His last company downsized. 43 people laid off in a single day. Raj was one of them. At 32, Raj had savings. But savings don't last forever when you're supporting aging parents and a sister in medical school. He'd applied to 67 companies, gotten 12 interviews, 11 rejections. This interview was different. Global consulting firm, dream position, salary that would solve every financial worry his family had. The interview went perfectly. 6 hours of presentations, case studies, team meetings. Every answer landed, every connection clicked. Then came the final hurdle, HR screening. Standard questions, background verification. Have you ever been treated for any mental health conditions that might affect your ability to perform this job? Raj's mind raced. 3 years ago, after his mother's heart attack, Raj had panic attacks, couldn't sleep, couldn't focus. His doctor recommended therapy. It helped. Raj learned breathing techniques, stress management, perspective tools. He'd been stable for 2 years. Better than stable, stronger. But medical records don't explain growth, they just flag risks. In this company, Raj had researched them. High-pressure environment, 60-hour weeks. They'd recently let go of 2 employees for performance issues that sounded suspiciously like burnout. The HR manager was waiting, professional smile, pen ready to note his answer. If you've ever faced a moment where honesty felt like career suicide, hit subscribe, because this choice touches something we all face. How much of our truth can we afford to share? Here's what Raj was thinking in those 5 seconds of silence. Option 1, tell the truth. Explain the therapy, the growth, the current stability. Risk them seeing mental health history and passing on his application. Option 2, say no. It's not technically lying if the condition doesn't affect his current performance, right? Get the job, support his family, prove himself through work, not medical history. But here's where it gets complicated, because Raj wasn't just thinking about himself. His father needed medication that cost thousands of credits monthly. His sister Ronnie was 2 years from finishing medical school. The tuition loan was crushing them. 8 months of unemployment had drained their savings. This job wasn't just about Raj's career, it was about his family's survival. So when he opened his mouth to answer, Raj wasn't just choosing between honesty and deception. He was choosing between his integrity and his family's future. No, he said. No mental health conditions. The words felt like swallowing glass. But they worked. 3 days later, Raj got the job offer. Excellent salary, full benefits, signing bonus that would cover his father's medicine for the next year. His family celebrated. Ronnie cried with relief. His parents looked proud for the first time in months. And Raj? Raj felt like a fraud. Not because he couldn't do the job. His first 3 months proved he was excellent at it. His anxiety was managed. His performance was stellar. His lie hadn't hurt anyone. But it had changed him. Here's what I find fascinating about this story. Because 6 months into the job, Raj faced another moment that tested everything. A colleague, Priya, was struggling. Anxiety attacks during presentations, stress-induced insomnia, the same symptoms Raj had experienced years earlier. Priya confided in Raj, asked if he'd ever dealt with workplace anxiety, whether therapy might help. And Raj had a choice. He could help her based on his real experience, share what he'd learned. guide her to the resources that had saved him. But doing that would risk exposing his lie. This is where ancient wisdom gets tested by modern reality, because philosophers have debated this exact scenario for centuries. Aristotle talked about practical wisdom, knowing when rules need to bend for the greater good. But Kant said, lying is always wrong, regardless of outcomes. Your integrity isn't negotiable, even for family survival. So who was right? The philosopher who said context matters, or the one who said principles are absolute? Let's look at what Raj's lie actually accomplished. His father got life-saving medication. Rani continued medical school and will become a doctor who helps others. Raj proved his capability and contributed value to his company. The lie enabled good outcomes, prevented suffering, created opportunities. But it also meant Raj couldn't help Priya authentically, couldn't advocate for better mental health policies at work, couldn't be honest about his own journey of growth. His lie had boxed him into a smaller version of himself. Here's what haunted Raj. Was he protecting his family from poverty? Or was he protecting himself from the discomfort of being fully seen? Raj made his choice about Priya. He helped her, shared his experience, guided her to therapy resources, advocated for her with management when she needed time off. And when HR questioned how he knew so much about anxiety management, Raj told them about his own therapy. The consequences were immediate. Formal review of his employment terms, questions about disclosure during hiring, discussions about trust and transparency. But something interesting happened. His direct manager, someone who'd worked with Raj for months, defended him. "Look at his performance," she said. "Look at how he's handled pressure. His mental health history isn't a liability. It's evidence of his resilience." Raj kept his job, with a formal note in his file about the disclosure issue, but he kept it. Here's what I can't stop thinking about. Was Raj's original lie wrong? Or was it a necessary bridge to a place where he could eventually tell the truth? What if the lie was his way of getting to a position where honesty became possible? Because this isn't really a story about lying on job applications. It's about what we do when society punishes honesty about things that shouldn't disqualify us. Mental health treatment should be celebrated, not hidden. People who get help should be seen as responsible, not risky. But we don't live in that world yet. So what do you do when telling the truth means your family doesn't eat? When honesty means qualified people get rejected for irrelevant reasons? Raj chose survival first, authenticity second. He lied to get the chance to prove his truth through actions. Maybe that was wrong. Maybe integrity should never be compromised, even for family. Or maybe that was realistic. Maybe sometimes we have to work within broken systems before we can fix them. A year later, Raj was promoted. Priya became his deputy, thriving after getting the mental health support she needed. Raj used his position to advocate for better mental health policies, removed questions about treatment history from hiring processes, created support systems for employees struggling with stress. His lie had put him in a position to make lying unnecessary for others. Remember how this started? Raj faced a question where honesty felt like career suicide. Turns out the real question wasn't whether to lie. It was what to do with the opportunity that lie created. So here's what I'm wondering. When systems are broken, do we have to work within them before we can change them? Or does participating in broken systems make us part of the problem? What would you have done in that interview? Told the truth and risked everything? Lied and dealt with the consequences later? There's no clean answer here. If stories about impossible choices keep you thinking long after they end, subscribe for more moral dilemmas that don't have easy solutions. Sometimes the most honest thing you can do is admit that honesty isn't always possible. The question is, what do you do with the space that compromise creates? This completes our Impossible Choices series. 4 stories about the gray areas where right and wrong blur together. Which choice haunted you most? Sarah's noble lie, Raj's found fortune, Ronnie's broken promise, or this Raj's career deception? Subscribe for more stories that live in the spaces between black and white.